All right, it's time for part two of this week's weekly test show. Oh boy, that was a fun first part. And furthermore, I got a whole lot of work with that Travel Series remake project that I was talking about, in that first part done. I'm just going ahead and getting everything repositioned here so that way we can continue on. There we go. Okay, let's bring the display capture back. And where's that one clip? Has to be this is the one. Yeah, this is one of the few clips that I did not get a chance to play around with last week. I didn't even bother touching it last week. This was from one of our previous Friday shows. It was the very beginning where Yugi says that he hopes that I'm prepared because we were ready to duel each other. In fact, just a little bit of a spoiler. Yes, I said in part one that because we won't be able to do our Friday show this week, I've decided we're gonna duel against Yugi tonight. This is gonna be good, isn't it? I've also prepared all of my PCs for the software updates, so I prepared all my most of my machines for the software updates, all but one. And the iPad and the iPhone are also ready to go for the update as well. So, let's continue here. So let's bring it closer.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel.
hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepa
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
come prepared, because it's time to duel.
If you come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
You've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because
Come
it's time to
prepared,
duel.
because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come
Come
prepared,
prepared,
because it's
because
time
it's
to
time
duel.
to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel. I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because
You've come
it's
prepared.
time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Prepare, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Prepare, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to
Because
duel.
it's time.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Prepare, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Prepare, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you come prepared, because it's time to duel.
hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Prepare, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Prepare, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
It's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to
I
duel.
hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel. Because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
You've come prepared, because it's time to duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Duel. I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Prepare, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel.
Prepare, because it's time to duel.
Alright. Let's try this one now.
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn! Monster Reborn! Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn! Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Reborn!
Monster 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 Reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn! Monster reborn!
I got a few more.
I hope.
Where is it? This one.
I summon Jinzo!
I summon Jinzo!
I summon Jinzo! It's back.
Zo!
I summon Jinzo! It's back. It's back.
I summon Jinzo! It's back!
I summon Jinzo! It's back. It's back.
I summon Jinzo! It's back!
I summon Jinzo! Back. Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad.
I summon Jinzo! It's bad.
Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad.
I summon Jinzo! It's bad.
Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad.
Jinzo! It's bad.
Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad.
It's bad.
Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad.
I summon Jinzo! It's bad.
Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad.
I summon Jinzo! It's bad.
Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad. Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad.
I summon Jinzo! It's bad.
It's bad. Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad.
I summon Jinzo! It's bad.
Summon Jinzo!
Summon Jinzo!
It's bad.
It's bad.
Summon Jinzo! Heck, it's bad.
I summon Jinzo! It's bad.
Summon Jinzo!
Summon Jinzo!
It's bad. I summon Jinzo! It's back. It's back.
I summon Jinzo! It's back! It's back!
I summon Jinzo!
I summon Jinzo! It's back!
All right. Well, that was great. So that's it for the floor for this week. And boy, what a competition that was tonight. And that's it for my prime time, to be more exact. And now we head into the final stages of tonight's show. Now, like I said, we're gonna get to the word game here. As I said, we're gonna do that single duel with Yugi. After, well, as I said tonight, I want to go ahead and get Tom Van News recordings of each of these clips first before we do the word game, and then we'll put together another route. Because I've already reserved some songs for one route in particular, I've decided that the next route we're going to work on is I-289. So I want to go ahead and get 289 out of the way, so that way then I don't have to worry about it. But first, let's see what we can do about these clips here. So, let's see what we get.
I summon Jinzo! It's back. It's back.
I summon Jinzo! It's back!
Yeah, let's save them both. Let's see if I can get a lower speed version of this.
I summon Jinzo! It's back. It's back.
I summon Jinzo! It's back! It's back!
That's great. But I got another one here. How about this one?
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel!
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel!
Okay, that's a little loud. I probably should have checked the volume before we started.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel!
Yeah, I like that. Save it.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel!
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel!
I like that. Let's see how this sounds.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel!
Oh, that's great. All right, let's try a few more with these.
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Yeah, let's go ahead and save them both and do this again.
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn! Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
How about we try increasing the volume on this?
Monster Reborn!
was so much better. So much better. Okay. Let me see if I already saved another copy of it.
Monster Reborn! I hope. Monster Reborn!
Yeah, this is gonna be great. You know what? Let's try it again with the normal volume, see if that makes a difference.
Monster Reborn!
Monster
Monster Reborn!
Monster Reborn!
Alright, let's try that, see if it makes a difference. That's much better.
Monster Reborn!
That is much better. I gotta change the number. Alright. And I think that's it.
I'll discard.
I'll discard type.
Oh yeah, here's one we didn't get to. Let's do that.
I'll discard Tiger X to destroy his Jinzo! Can't be! I'll discard.
Alright, let's try it again. As I didn't turn the loop off.
I'll discard Tiger X to
I'll
destroy his Jinzo!
Okay, maybe we need to go slightly louder.
I'll discard Tiger X to
I'll
destroy
discard.
his Jinzo!
You know what? Let's try it one at a time instead.
I'll discard Tiger X to destroy his Jinzo! Can't be!
I'll discard Tiger X to destroy his Jinzo! Can't be!
Let's do that again.
I'll discard Tiger X to destroy his Jinzo! Can't be!
I'll discard Tiger.
I'll discard Tiger X to
I'll
destroy
discard.
his Jinzo! I'll discard Tiger X to destroy his Jinzo! Can't be!
I'll discard Tiger X to destroy his Jinzo! Can't be!
Ah, this is much nicer.
I'll just.
Ah, that's great. Okay, let's try it one more time with the other two.
I'll discard Tiger X to destroy his Jinzo! Can't be!
I'll discard Tiger X to destroy his Jinzo! Can't be!
That's lovely. And also there's one there's also one more I wanted we played around with earlier. Let me pull that up again. All right, I got one more to try. That's gonna be some fun stuff to mess around with after we go off the air tonight.
Spider Coach.
Okay, I don't want to play too much. Okay, I don't want to play too much of that. It's for a good reason. All right, now with that taken care of, maybe that system update will bring that new start menu back. I sure hope so. All right, now on to the word game here before we move on. So, for those who did not see part 1, here are the letters from the word game. Oh, and I forgot to mention too, when Ohio did their monthly test, they did the text to speech instead of that pre-recorded message. You know, where the lady says where the lady reads the script. This was a very different Ohio monthly this month for sure, honestly. Okay, let's see what we can let's see what kind of words we can try. Albalt, two ball, Labtall, Tall, Uptall, Albalt. Oh, we already did Albalt. Atbull. Oh wait, I'm using more letters than I should have. Atbull. La Bolt. Is that really the word? It actually auto corrected. I didn't see it, but I saw it. It actually capitalized La Bolt. So wait a minute, that's a proper name? So that's actually the word then, La Bolt. So how about that? That's great. For the second week in a row, again, I actually figured out the WMBS word game. How amazing. Alright, let's save that for achievement of sorts. Alright, so, as I've said, I'll import all the talking news stuff before we go off the air here tonight. And before we continue on, I want to go ahead and get my station set up for tonight because, like I said, I'm gonna run the system update following tonight's show. So I want to make sure that this is ready to go here. And I want to make sure that okay. All right, so WCKA, that will come over because I'm just going to reset the station and be done with it. So it's just going to be that simple. Alright. So, in terms of postponements, Amarillo, Charleston, West Virginia, Birmingham, Alabama, North Platte, Nebraska, Pendleton, Oregon, and Salt Lake City, Utah, those will all come over to the next day. Now, let me find the Thursday thing. Alright, that should be everything. Alright, Okay. Now, what were we going to discuss here? Oh yeah. So I was going to do a little bit of a recap from part 1 for those of you who may have missed it. Yeah, for those of you who may have missed part 1, and I've actually been given a little bit of an update regarding Friday. Regarding Friday, I've been given a little bit of an update. A little bit of an update as to such. So, I'll talk about that here. But first, let's go through the recap for part 1, for those of you who might have missed it. So, for the first part of the show, of course, we did the word game. And what did we also find out? Also put together the monitors for today's slight risk of severe weather. That pretty much I can just go ahead and get situated here. There was a whole lot of stuff since I reset it, so. So it looks like KUPI is its own thing for Pocatello, but I just want to be sure. Because yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm taking a look at each, seeing what other best possibilities we might have. So, all right, so KUPI will definitely have that on there the next time. What's CVNG? CVNG is KKEX, which is already on my list. And also we found out that KUFM actually is the one that's been doing the one that's been sending out the Flathead Jefferson Lake that I've been seeing come up on CRTV a lot. So we'll be adding that now to our list. As soon as I can find it. There it is. So this, let me bring the document back. And I'm going to add that to the evening slot. And this will run alongside Yellowstone Public Radio. So both going at the same time. We'll have them both on there going forward. All right, so let's check everything else. KBOW. I think we had that one on here. I don't know if we do. Now, what are we looking at? What are we looking at now? We're looking at. We must be looking at Missoula. Okay. So KBOW actually looks like this could be a good alternative to WXL25 in the event the stream goes down. So we'll have that one up for next time. Let's see if there's any other call signs that need my attention. So see if there's other call signs that's catching my attention. KDPI, we already acknowledged that. KZDX, that's been on there, so that's already been taken care of. KSEN, I believe that's on this list already. I believe that's already on my list. KSEN. Okay, maybe it's not there. Maybe it's on here. Okay, maybe it's being case specific. Okay, that isn't. So, 1548. Message from KSEN. I guess we can just look up the call sign, look at the info. It's under KZIN. So let me see if that's on here already. Okay, it is already on there. Okay, so that's there already. KUPI. Wait a minute. KDPI. That's a completely different call sign. Was it just me, or did I see KDPI instead of KUPI? Was it me, or did I miss it? Let me look it up again. Oh, it's the one we already have. So is it's the Perduit, whatever it is, URL. See if I can find it here. Oh, it is on here. Okay. I want to see if I already have this on Pocatello. If I don't, I'll add it. Oh, I gotta type it in the box. And then hit the arrows. It is not on there. Okay. We'll add this then to Pocatello. Oh, there it is. It's already right there. It says it couldn't find it, but it's literally right there. But it's probably the old URL, so I just have to swap it out. So, but it's likely the old one, so I just have to switch it out. All right. Okay, we got that addressed. Are there any more? Are there any more that we need to address? KXLO, that's already on there. Topeka, Norman did their evening test. RUT. That's a fail on that part. So yeah, they both did their test. Fort Worth did theirs. I see the other one failed. The Broadcastify one that I have in there. KZDX, we've had that in there. I think that's it. I think that is all of it. Rich Utah, yeah, we've already had everything addressed. So yeah. All right. I think that's it. So that's ready to go then. I'll go ahead and save the document. So of course I'll keep that as a reference. Because I thought since the Mountain Time Zone is, part of this severe weather event today, I thought, why don't I just, see what other companions we could add for those stations, and I'd say we definitely got some action out of all of them. So pretty much at this point, some of those offices in Montana are now totally situated, going into, as we go into the severe weather, as we're already well into the severe weather season. So yeah, that was one thing. Ohio did the text-to-speech monthly test. And what else happened? That was another thing. I also took you behind the scenes. I took our folks behind the scenes, rather, of multiple additional episodes of the Minecraft Travel Series remake project that I have been working on for almost a month now. Well, I'm talking about when we started taping the initial shots of each of the routes. And now we're pretty much a month in, and the project is now 70% of the way done. However, earlier, what we did on air was 432. That was what we did first. I-92, we did that earlier. We were going to do I-67, but I noticed I had made an error in one of the parts, as well as I-98. So I've decided, and also because I brought up Route 203 based on the railroads based on the episode numbers, that came up last minute. So I decided I'm going to reshoot I-67, 98, 2, and 356 in both directions. So 4 routes I'm going to be reshooting, as well as a whole new one, 203, and the 3 railroads. Well, actually 5 railroads technically. The 2 railroads that were originally built, the Elbort Transport, the recreation of the BNSF racetrack, and the newest transport network. And yes, those railroads will be done in both directions. Those 3, since they're quite short, they will all be featured as a trip. They will be featured as a triple feature. So meaning we'll feature all 3 railroads in one single episode. Just to, make up for the time. So that's what I'm planning on doing tomorrow. Reshooting everything. And then once I have all the footage, I'm going to spend the entirety of the day on Thursday getting the rest of this piece together. So I'll redo the shots of each of those routes, and then I'll continue editing episodes. I was going to do 67, but I put that on hold, and I've also put places where I need to re-edit footage. So I've went ahead and labeled those so I can get those re-edited. But speaking of editing, we're going to go ahead and do another one with you right now. And I choose Interstate 289. We are going to start with 289 northbound. So let me go ahead and... Oh, couldn't copy? Let's try that again. Because sometimes I might have to restart the program just so it can copy, but I'll give it a few moments. And we'll see if it eventually does. Okay, I didn't like that. Alright. Yeah, then like I said, I'm going to restart Clipchamp. Alright, so while I try to get this going here, I also said that so what we're going to do right now is we're going to put together I-289 in both directions. There's Interstate 1 we did. We completed that. We completed both directions in the middle of Flipside. The westbound direction was the latest one that I had completed. So we're going to edit 289, and then following the completion of that, I would like to take this opportunity, considering that, because we need to find something new for the 10 p.m. time slot, since Brendan really can't really find a time to do, the Deal or No Deal game with us anymore, considering that we are long overdue for another one. The last one was like the first one of March, and then after that, that was it. There wasn't another episode after that. So considering it's been 2 months, I've decided that we've moved the Deal or No Deal game over to a new time slot. So I've been thinking we will probably give Yu-Gi-Oh! The Power of Chaos game, rather, another time slot on our network. So I was thinking we could have a single match duel with either Kaiba or Joey take over the 10 p.m. time slot where Deal or No Deal was. Or we could probably do a single duel with both duelists. Yeah, because I thought it looked like I didn't have any sound for a minute. But there we go. So yeah, that could probably be the case going forward beginning next week. So yeah, beginning next week. So since we won't be able to do the Friday Fun Night show this week, and plus I have some more announcements on that, I would like to hopefully get this whole editing endeavor of this Travel Series project done. If I don't get it finished by the end of the day tomorrow, I'm still going to get up early on Friday just so I can allow myself more time to, get this all put together, including transfer over everything. So all the footage, all the assets of the Travel Series remake, the project files are already stored in the cloud. So pretty much those are going to be coming with me. I can access those on the micro, but I'm going to double check and make sure. I'll carry over all the assets. And of course, I got to carry over those Yu-Gi-Oh cards as well. The cards that I had won from all those duels, including some that we could possibly, the ones that we could possibly win tonight. But we will see. But we will find out here. So I don't have too many more routes to edit otherwise. So we're getting close to the end. All right. So let's go ahead and get to I-289. As I said, we're going to start with 289 northbound. So I'm going to rename this. So this is the last route we'll work on air. And then immediately after we go off the air tonight, I want to get the security updates done on all my PCs. You know, so that way they can all make that way that they all have their latest, you know, security releases and whatnot. Monopoly was abruptly halted when I started the update because there was one of the driver updates that actually ended up causing the display to go nuts. But it's this one right here. It's probably for the integrated graphics. So that's probably what it is. But it's fine. All right. All of this we do not need. We do need the shield, however. But I'm going to swap. We actually don't really need that shield because I'm just going to throw in the shield for 289. And 283 is joining in as well. So we're just going to throw in the shield. And there we go. Now, 283 also runs alongside 289, but only for a very brief time. So we'll kind of treat it as if the two were running together. So we'll kind of treat it in that way. So I'll have the shield there. And then I got to put the fade in and fade out effect. And also I might want to readjust the shield so that way the two are, so that way the two better fit. Ah, there we go. That's better. Okay, so we can get rid of this shield now. And we are going to go ahead and throw in the music that I have reserved for 289 northbound. Can't make up my mind. And then we throw in the footage. I also forgot to mention, too, while I was watching the floor, my popcorn break went a little... Well, I usually munch on some popcorn while enjoying primetime game shows like The Floor. Tonight, for some reason, it was a completely different story. Yeah, tonight it was a completely different story. Yeah, a totally different story. So instead of Orville Redenbacher, I was actually given some leftover Cinemark popcorn. I won't go into any specifics on that. That's all I'm going to say. Some leftover Cinemark popcorn. And, I mean, it wasn't as fresh. I mean, it wasn't as fresh as, when you actually get it at the theater. But yeah, it's not as fresh when you actually get it fresh at the theater, but it did taste decent. Although I haven't actually been to a movie theater, well, pretty much barely ever do now, and it's for a good reason. Because I mean, the movie theaters really have changed because, nowadays, we have streaming services like Paramount Plus and all that stuff. But that's a topic for another time because I want to duel tonight. I want to get 289 finished before we do that. So let me go ahead and take that off and then put down, so we're doing 289 north and then I-283 south after that. So I'm going to take the songs that I've reserved and I'm going to put them on the top and bottom of the list here. And then I'll clear the reservations. So that leaves us with two. So again, I want to start the day tomorrow by recording the rest of the footage, and then I'll re-record footage and get some new footage as well. And then after that, I can then start transferring over all the assets. So let's go. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna
Again, if we have to trim any errors out, we will. Then we speed it up slightly. I want to speed this up so the bridge starts right here. Alright, we'll do 2.5 speed again. Then we go up to 3. Right, gotta look for Rubik Road. Nope, keep going. Yep, here it is. Oh no, Asmi Road. Yep, here we go. This is it. See if I have to make any further adjustments. But if I have to, I will. So I'm just going to keep watching the whole thing and see if any errors show up. I'll just move this over slightly since 283 is going to come up later. And then right here is where 283 joins in. But only for a very brief time as it splits. And here, we're going to put the transition there. Duration 1. So not much positioning changes need to be made there. So this is as 289 crosses the bridge. Then we go back up to 3. Unexpected error. Oh no. Unexpected error opening the project. Wow. Okay, let's try that again then. Sure. Parenthesis. Comma. Okay. Let's try loading again. Let me try loading it again. Okay. Can we actually get into the project? I'm going to close this because I'm done with it. I'm going to go ahead and just close the VLC player because I'm not going to need it anymore, since I know what songs I'm doing. So there's something. So there was something going on with. There was something going on with the Microsoft 365. There's something going on with it. I mean, we were able to get through most of that pretty well, and now it seems like we're finally having the issue here. So, I mean, yeah, lots of. I mean, the whole Office. Well, it's really the Office. I think the online suite, and this is one of those. This is part of the Microsoft 365 stuff. Because now I've waited a while and the thing is not opening. I mean, I can still get into. I mean, I can still get into Clipchamp. I can open the thing and whatnot. It'll load my projects, but it just won't let me into. It just won't let me into the one I want. Like I could try to. Okay, now it works. All right, then let's try to load 289 again. Oh, okay, here it comes. There it is. There's where we were at. All right, let's see if we can actually get through. Here's where we were at. Here was an issue that we had to correct. All right, it was before Brandy Masson Boulevard. So I gotta look for it on the list. Nope, before that. Okay, not quite. Try rewinding a little bit. Here we go. Okay, and then we'll remove all this. Yeah, there isn't too much left of 289, so we better conserve the rest of the of the runtime wisely. And just to conserve what remains of the video's runtime, just want to be sure I did this part right without having to rewind. All right, so now I think we can do the 2x and that, yeah. .7655. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then this is the end northbound. That is great. All right, let's go ahead and load up the Windows 7 VM now. And we're going to go ahead and do I-289 southbound. So now we're going to do southbound I-289. So my goal tomorrow is, as I've said, I'd like to get the rest of this done. So both of these can go. So now we'll throw in 289 South and Juku Music as I've decided. And then we'll just throw in the video. We gotta change every direction now to south. So now it's southbound on every direction because this is now southbound 289 we're doing. And this, I think we might have more luck because Juku music is a little crazier. So, because Juku music is a little more intense. So. So here's the start of it. Okay, first mistake goes up to, okay, Gray Street was where I rewinded to. So I gotta watch for the sign. No, it was before that. Nope, keep going. Okay, maybe we need to go a little further. There we go. Okay, here's where I cut the footage. There was actually a creeper-shaped cloud. Oh my gosh. Well, it's called the Minecraft Travel Series. Then we'll slow it down. Then up to 2x speed. So let's see if we can get 289 to fit within the time span of this song here. Oh wow. 3-way meet in Elkhart. And that's how crazy it gets. That's how crazy it gets over there. Too bad I never got to witness one. But it sure would have been cool to see in person. Okay, now we gotta get ready, because 283 is coming up. Okay, so here it is. We're gonna split, delete, merge these elements, merge 283 here, put the transition in place. Oh, these two transitioned brilliantly. I should probably go back and fix the other one, too. Yeah, I'll go back and fix the other one later. Oh, here we go again. And I can't stop it. Oh, it looks like I still can. Yeah, behind that box, I can still do stuff. I could actually still do stuff. Like, right on the other side of the box, I could still press the spacebar to start and stop the video. And now it's just giving me a blank project. Okay, that was not supposed to happen. Let me go ahead and erase it. Let's go back to 289 North and make that change for just a second before we continue. Yeah, and it cleared all the assets as well. It's looking for the song and the video. But... okay. But really all I'm here for is to have these two fade in and out together. Okay, that's the only change I need to make in the northbound direction. Now, let's go back to southbound that we were working with just a second ago. And I see we are without sound right out of the gate. Okay, that's not good. So, yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of restarting the whole program just to get it to work. And there we go. 289 southbound. And yep, even the Metros are still running on the UP West, although at a lower rate now because we're already well past rush hour. So, all right, let's continue on. We were going to slow this down. And I can't undo it anymore. Wait, I said 1.5, not 3x speed. Okay, here's where we put the transition back. And we'll have the two fade out together. So now 289 South is on its own. And here's the part where it sounded eerily similar to a melody of some sort, but luckily it worked out in the end. This is when we did the other direction of 143rd Street a few years ago. Oh, another mistake. Let's fix that. Nice and smooth transition. So this will continue at 3x speed. This will continue at 3x through this part. This is so we can get the entire video to the entire thing to run within the time slot of this song, within the time span of this song. Then we'll slow it down to 1.5. And since this is the end of it, before we actually put the nail in the coffin on this video here. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna have to do a lot of speed up on this one. So we gotta speed it up as fast as we can get it. So yeah, we're doing 3.75 for the final part. Again, this is so we can get the song to fit within the allocated runtime. And I want this to be the very end of it, so. And then we come up to the bridge. I actually want it to go directly to 1x speed at the end. Maybe something like 3.8. That's much better. All right, then we split this and delete. Go to the very end. Cut these two. Okay. Okay, cut off these two. Put the fade out effect there. put in the rectangle. Okay, the rectangle is not supposed to remove before, well, after the song clip finishes. It's supposed to stay until the end. There we go. All right, so that is that. As I said, that is as far as I would like to go in terms of the travel series project for today. But like I said, we got a couple more games to play here before we wrap things up. Of course, that Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel is what we're going to be doing next here. So let's see. In total routes, let's see. How many? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. So 16 episodes left to edit, technically. Well, in terms of highway routes. But then there's 17, those railroads. So technically now 20 episodes. So actually, I'd say about 15 episodes officially, remaining to, edit and then eventually render. So pretty much as I said tomorrow, I'd like to first re-record all the 4 routes, plus record all the new stuff, then re-edit I-98, probably because that's the easiest one. I'll re-edit I-98 first, then I will re-edit I-2 North, and then I'll put together, and then I will, after that, put together its southbound counterpart. And then after that, I'll put together its southbound counterpart. And then once that is all set and done, then of course I'll just move on with the rest of the project. Then I'll do I-67 like I was going to originally. And then of course the rest of the project from there will proceed as usual. So it's as simple as that. I mean, it's going to be sort of it's going to be kind of a difficult endeavor, really to get through. But of course, as Yugi Moto always says, as long as you never give up, eventually we will be able to complete all of this. Well, let's go back on some other. I see TFM decided to bring his phone 991 to school for a change. You got the Chanhassen and Lacrosse weeklies from there. Johnny Thunder missed a State College Spirit Thunderstorm warning. He got New York City's weekly, of course he did. And I see Southern PA. I wasn't expecting State College to do anything, but at least they got their weekly in today. Whatever this Philly is, got Spirit Thunderstorm warning on. That's one of the lacrosse weeklies. And then last thing here is a weekly on WDET. I don't know if it's random or they stream alerts. I'll probably throw that into the secondary. Yeah, that was when. That was the original announcement when Weather Radio Canada was going to be discontinued. I still can't get over how dumb of a decision that was. And the Max Weather thing is also down. Because I don't see any active live streams on here. But the thing is, he only streams when. But as the thing goes, he only streams when he's available. So if he's not available, then they're not on. So they're not on right now. But once he gets back, then eventually he'll put them back up and we'll be up, and then they'll be up and running again. I haven't checked out the Weather Radio Quebec thing. Maybe I'll have to take a look at that and see if I could actually see if my station could actually decode the headers. I'm curious to see if that's actually possible. I don't know, but we might give it a try.
So let's see. KMOX is not tested since I put them in there. It might be just me, probably. I don't know. There's still quite a few of them we haven't heard from yet. I haven't heard from yet this week. So, yeah. So once again, we're gonna get to that Yu-Gi-Oh duel here in a minute, or not in a minute, but in a few moments we will. And then, of course, we'll play Yahtzee. I'll go back on all the other enthusiast captures at that point because I don't want to be doing that in the middle of the duel. So I just want to focus on the duel and not on anything else, because pretty much it's pretty much a you can't go back scenario. So that's pretty much something I got to keep in mind when I begin recording the show, which I said I plan to do in the spring. I plan to do next year. So, and then I plan on that being a fall 2027 release, and then fall 2026. That is going to be when I plan on hopefully getting that second season of Fifth Grade going. I should probably be seeing if I could get that DS up and running. That's probably going to be one other thing I'm going to try to get done this summer as well. So, part-time job, getting my trying to get my 3670 back into a good working state. Trying to get my DS, trying to play Monster Reborn on my Nintendo DS. Well, what I mean by that is the Monster Reborn spell card, as in bringing a monster back onto the field. I'm using that terminology as in hopefully resurrecting my Nintendo DS after sitting dormant for years. So once I can resurrect it, I'll do a test run of the Fifth Grader DS game, see what I can do about recording it, actually taping the show. If it works, then great. We'll do the second half of the second season like I had originally intended, which means I will have to re-record the PC game once again. 299 and 300 I will have to re-record. Once those have been reshot, then pretty much we'll be ready to record the rest of the stuff. So pretty much another 105 episodes to record. But I'll probably end up doing the once a week format again, or I'll probably just do, Fifth Grader. But the first part of the fall taping cycle, as I've stated previously, is going to involve piecing together episodes that I've recorded previously, which is why also this summer I want to get more episodes of Sorry recorded, and I want to get more Big John's Wheel of Fortune recorded. All of that I plan to get back to by the end of this month. So either May 31st or June 1st, probably May 31st most likely, I'll get back to recording both shows, and I'll try to see how many I can get done, to fill up the complete slot for the 2027 season. Yeah, for our 2026, for our 2027 season, holiday season 2026 going into 27. So that's pretty much my ultimate. That's pretty much one of my ultimate goals for the summer, along with a few others. But that's another thing. So I'm gonna go take care of some business in the other room, and then we will get started with our. We'll then get started with our last two games of the night.
All right, that business has been finished. As I said, we're gonna get to Yahtzee in a little bit, but first we're gonna go ahead and take care of that Yu-Gi-Oh duel that, like I said, we will not be able to get to on Friday. So I want to go ahead and take this opportunity tonight to get it done. So let's not waste any more time, and let's duel.
I hope you've come prepared, because it's time to duel!
I have come prepared. I've been watching all those duels during all those previous duels I've done during my lunch break and whatever other times, and I even played the duel terminal a lot while the floor was on and whatnot. Alright, I'm setting down my biggest layer of defense first. Sync again. There we go.
That was a good attack. I end my turn.
I end my turn. I'm gonna put down my biggest layers of. I'm gonna put down my layers of defense before I do anything else.
That was a good attack. I end my turn.
Alright, now to set down Hane. This is so we can take advantage of its flip effect. Well, this is so... Yeah, I can take advantage of its flip effect, which would return a monster to the owner's hand.
What?
I gotta make a choice. I choose Sorcerer of the Doom. Back to his hand.
Now, I'll set a card. I end my turn.
I don't want to get rid of any of those layers of defense. We got 1600. Okay, we will do that.
No! Trap hole!
I guess not. There that goes.
Activate Field Spell!
Well, one of my defenses
Now you
just
can't
got
attack
boosted.
for 3 whole turns. Swords of Revealing Light! I end my turn.
Ooh, there's Man-Eater Bug. It's like the last of the that I have that does something with one or more of its monsters.
Flip Summon! The effect activates at the same time.
Of course, he's choosing the highest defense player. His Man-Eater Bug. And there's my
That was a
Man-Eater
good
Bug.
attack.
But now it's flip
Oh,
effect
no!
activates. And we're gonna get rid of Dragon Zombie. Yep, that monster's gone.
I end my turn.
So using a Man-Eater Bug to attack another Man-Eater Bug. What are the odds of that? But I'm not getting rid of any defense layer. In fact, this one requires a tribute, so we'll go and set down Sorcerer of the Doomed. But I can't attack because the Revealing Light is still active. I mean, I was just excited to get to
Yes,
the battle.
this was the card I was waiting for. I offer a monster on my field as a tribute. I summon Curse of Dragon. I switch it to defense position. I end my turn.
Okay, there's Neo's Swordsman, but again, I can't do anything with it. I can't do anything with it right now because the Revealing Light is expired. So now I gotta wait till it gets back to me before I can do attacks again. Yep, before that monster gets destroyed.
I end my turn.
I want to keep this. I want to keep the 2000. life point, attack point defense layer up as much as possible. I probably could have put this in defense position now that I think about it, but now I can finally do this. Okay, there's his own copy of the Soldier of Stone. So, I think I know what he's going to do next. He's going to use that Cursed Dragon to destroy.
I switch it to attack position. I switch it to attack position.
Okay. He's really going to go after my monsters now.
I end my turn.
That's all we do. This is a tough decision. I hate to get rid of the defense, but I gotta do it.
A tribute summon.
Yep. Yeah. So long, Cursed Dragon.
Not bad. Can't be.
And that's it.
I activate my spell card. Raigeki.
That's what I feared he had. He's probably gonna finish it
Flip
off.
summon.
Yep, this is gonna be it right here. I guess it just was inevitable that he was gonna activate the Raigeki. And even if I kept the layer of defense I had, I don't think it would have mattered anyway. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. He would have just activated it, and then that layer of defense would be gone. Gone, out of sight, out of mind, never to be seen or heard from again.
Whew. That was an excellent duel. I'm lucky I was able to draw the right cards at the right time.
Yeah, that certainly was an excellent duel. It really was. So, now that we got that duel taken care of, and I think that actually could make a really good spot, as a replacement for the Deal or No Deal game on Wednesday nights. That would make for a really good replacement. So, we'll still do the single duel with Yugi on Friday. Of course, not this week. It'll be next week. But also next week, we'll do a single duel either with Kaiba or Joey. One of those two. I'm thinking a single duel with Kaiba. I'm thinking seeing if I can defeat Kaiba. So I'm thinking we'll do Kaiba, on our next weekly test show. But right now, though, we are going to transition now into our final game of the night. That, of course, is Yahtzee. So let's go ahead and start it. So here we go. 3 players. And it's off we go. And also while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and import the Talking News stuff, so that way I can just run the Windows update after we go off the air here. I'll actually take advantage of the 3 of a kind because of how high of a number that is. What's this one? Yeah, I was just rambling off stuff. Alright, so then I can go into here, and then I'll just import everything and then carry them over to the other device. Oh gosh. That's gonna be fun to play around with, as I've already said. Just trying to get to the device. There we go. was fun. Certainly enjoyed repeating that line over and over again. Yeah, that was. Yeah, it was all this stuff from earlier. The Megamorph, that was fun. Just hearing the cat say all this. Oh yeah, there was the Uniden siren. And then that's it. And then this is everything from last week. With the pinball game and all. Okay, add items. Okay, it says they were onboard successfully. I'm gonna reconnect this to the charger. There we go. And then I can go over to the pictures folder, let everything regroup. And then I can just highlight everything. Move them over to the Talking Friends folder. If there's any duplicates, skip them, and I'll just toss them, throw them away. Oh, I'll take advantage of chance. And then I'll go in here and copy all the new stuff over to the iDrive, where I have a backup of all the Talking Friends stuff. So that way I can play around with it on the other PC. Listen and downloads. Yeah, but it's not there. That was when I was getting the stations set up earlier. Alright, so then I can open up the share, go to the Talking Friends folder, and I'll just copy all the new stuff over. Okay, so yeah, keep another copy of the Talking Friends folder on my main drive. On the main drive. You know, not that other part, not that other hard drive, just a separate copy on the SSD. Okay, so everything has been carried over. So this is going to be fun to mess around with next week. All right. Now let's see what other enthusiasts have gotten. See what other enthusiasts have gotten stuff today, other than the ones I was talking about earlier. I see Mahoning County managed to get a Spirit Thunderstorm warning off of KIH-35. It looks like he got like the end of it. And then this was a Spirit Thunderstorm warning on WWG-53, Parker, Pennsylvania. And then he feeding old cap files. Jeez Louise. He's just running a bunch of tests on that thing. wonder where I could obtain that. So I'm pretty sure you got that one warning after so long. Tetris fan got the Malhali tests. There's that unboxing video of the Dream Sky radio. Alright, one more game of Yahtzee and then we are done. I'll wait for a better hand for Four of a Kind. Looks like the WR400's antenna is broken. Then Yoshi fan, of course, got the weekly, and it looks like he got the Dream Sky radio as well. Although I don't really see it, and a lot of his collection appears to be off for some reason. Yeah, to a WR120. Yeah, very different compared to a standard WR120. So, there's that WDT test from earlier. And I see Piedmont region actually got a weekly. He actually got one. He got the Greenville Spartanburg weekly on WXL70 Charlotte, North Carolina. The Weber State, that was the Severe Thunderstorm Watch and 2 warnings from earlier. And I see Zachary Coleman's getting the ND329, that Dream Sky radio, and that WR321 radio that's been, that I heard was pretty bad. Yeah, that I heard was quite bad. I mean, I've seen the unboxings of it when it first was released, and then I see Maui County got one of the Severe Thunderstorm warnings off of WWG 56. I don't think I ever put Cleveland in there, if I remember correctly. But this is probably for the Pittsburgh area. Yeah. And then this is 2 severe thunderstorm warnings off of WWG 53. This one was a marine warning from, well, this was all from last week, so. Yeah, and then there was all that. And then there was all the Putnam County WX stuff. That's for the convective outlooks for, well, I have the outlook for tomorrow ready to go already. And then there's all the Southern PA videos from earlier. And then again, that. This stuff from Brian Schlip. What is this channel update? So he's made like an update video on what's been going on. things have been busy. Yeah, but it's good to know that he's still around. It's just that he's been busy with a lot of stuff and he hasn't found time to, you know, make any kind of content whatsoever. But I'm glad to know that he'll be back to doing that kind of stuff soon. And then I see CXP got some of the marginal risk stuff from the past couple of days. Monday, May 11th. I suppose he did he got stuff off of like WWF 69 Fort Pierce, and then Miami, Naples, all those transmitters and all that stuff. So that's pretty much what he ended up doing. Digital talking book guide. Then this Carolina Elevators thing, this was everything from the past few days. It was a marginal risk with stuff going on and whatnot. This was from May 6th. I see he has that radio too. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's going to be like if I ever get my hands on one of those. Yeah, if I ever get my hands on one of those. And I see Central IL got that dust storm warning from earlier this week, I presume, because it was on a Tuesday, if I recall. Alright. So that is that then. So I'm going to finish up with the, as I said, I'm going to finish up with the enthusiasts here and then we'll be done. So, there was that, there was this severe weather event from April 13th through 18th that I only watched like the first part of, and then I didn't watch the rest of it after that. I see monthlies were even included too. Looks like this was in his basement. So it looks. Oh, this is him going crazy. He was just going crazy over it. And then it was after this where this is where it gets really crazy. That was Yeah, he went quite crazy over this cipher. That one failed. Such a shame that Weather Radio Canada doesn't exist anymore. Because it would have been nice if that continued, so that way they would have me being scared of Toadette. And I see you also got another 12262. Probably to replace his other one, or maybe to go alongside it. I don't know how many 262s he has, but it's crazy, honestly. And then CXP was live for the coverage. I don't know why I misread to that. Some radio reviews thing. This one. 8K thing. CC Carolina got some of the warnings from, I think it was from that marginal risk. And what do we have here? Some updates on and then I think this was that video, on Monday the 11th it was made. So that probably explains everything what ended up offering. He's put some of these radios into a bin. What the heck is he gonna do with all of them? Oh, he's just changing rooms. He's just changing rooms. Okay, that's quite a reason. What is this here? Some old PCs. Yeah, installing XP and doing stuff with it. And then let's see. I don't think there's anything else. Yep. Okay. I guess that's it then. That is everything in terms of that. So yeah, with that being said, I guess yeah, that's everything that we gotta. That's pretty much everything we've got for you tonight. So, but of course, before we get going, we got to do some of our, of course, usual, yeah, quote unquote, usual business. Just sort of our final bits of business here before we go. Of course, Tom and Ben, I want to thank both of you for. Well, of course, want to thank both of you for letting me be your company this week, as we usually do. We usually enjoy having them with us. But, of course, we'll have them back next week, as we, of course, usually do, as I've said. But we'll be in a totally different location. But I'm sure you all know exactly what it is, as I've explained. But we'll have them back then. So, say goodnight to both of you at this point, and then we'll have you back again. We'll have you both back next week. So good night to you both, and we'll see you. We'll see you again then. All right. So then the final piece of business with all of you before we go is that, of course, a final reminder about our programming for this week before we our final programming reminders for this week before we end this program. So, of course, I want to first of all, thank all of our special guests who have joined us today, although not much have actually joined us this week than in other weeks. Brian Schlip was with us.
Austin Vance. I don't know. I think Dimitri was with us, but only for a very brief time. Of course, Andrew Durnock was with us. There were a bunch that were with us for this week's show. But whether there's very little guests or a lot, I still like it when there's actually actually people joining along with us in this whole in this whole weekly testing. This is really what keeps the show going for a long period of time. Essentially, this is what keeps the whole thing going. So of course, without this whole program, this program as a whole just wouldn't have been, just would not be possible. So one final reminder about our programming for this week and going into the next several weeks before we wrap up. So as I have said regarding tomorrow, so far 56 episodes technically have been edited, but two were supposed to be done, but then I realized that we had already that there were some errors in terms of footage, but I had never gotten around to actually making it. So that is why I am going to, as I said, do that tomorrow. So that's why I'm going to do that. That's all right. Oh well. So yeah, that's why I said I'm going to do that tomorrow. So yeah, that is why I stated that I'm going to. I'll go ahead and say everything again. So tomorrow, of course, I'm going to do some more work with the Trial Series remake. I'm going to record the rest of the footage, including reshooting both directions of I-67, 356, 2, and 98. I'll start with I-98 tomorrow, and then I'll work on and then I'll just get the footage for the railroads and everything else. And then once that is complete, then once all that is complete, that will be the end of the. That will then be all the footage that we need for the Trial Series remake. And then I'll begin the process of transferring over all the assets over to the micro, as well as those Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because I've got to back up the virtual machines as well. So I'll be spending the whole day tomorrow getting that taken care of. So pretty much from dawn to dusk, I'll just be working, and even through the night too. So. But of course, we're still going to do our backyard baseball game tomorrow night, as we usually do, at 5 p.m. So, of course, that's something that I keep in mind too. We'll be doing our backyard baseball game at 5 p.m., like I said. And then, of course, all the primetime stuff. The third semifinal game is Celebrity Jeopardy, and then Scrabble, and Trivial Pursuit. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff to make up. And then of course, Flipside is probably going to be added on. Oh no, Flipside is not going to be on tomorrow. But Perfect Line will be waiting for me for lunch break on Friday. Oh wait, I don't even think I'm going to be able to get to it. But you know what? Maybe I might. But maybe I may. Maybe I might. But I'll see what. That's right. I'll see what. But I'll see. We'll see what happens that day. But yeah, so I'd like to spend the whole day tomorrow getting the Trail Series project finished up, as in getting the initial editing footage taken care of, the editing pieces taken care of. I'll then decide after that whether or not I'd like to do the text boxes. And then whatever time remains, probably going into Friday, I'll work on getting the 8 episodes of the Play 9 series taken care of. And then, as I said, Friday night, Fun Night show this week, hence why we did that duel with Yugi earlier. So, I'm glad we got that in. And next week, we'll have Kaiba take the 10 p.m. slot, so we'll do a single duel with him at that time slot. And maybe we'll probably do Joey as well. So we'll do a single duel with both Kaiba and Joey at that time slot on Wednesday nights. And that will be the new permanent slot for those two going forward. But I'll talk more about that when we get there. And then whatever else I don't finish, I'll complete that on Friday night. Later that night, after all the graduation stuff and dinner and all that. And then on Saturday, of course, is when I'm going back to Rochelle for the Railroad Days event. I'm getting very excited. I am getting excited. I know there's a bunch of other Rofanners out there that are as excited as I am. So yeah, I couldn't be more excited. So I'm looking forward to Rochelle. I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to it as well. So it is going to be a whole lot of fun. I cannot wait. I'm getting very excited for Rochelle this year, especially with the big boy coming in June. I'm not going back to Rochelle just for the whistle stop. I'm going to be going, more on the more up north on the Metro territory to watch the locomotive go by. When the big boy tour begins in just a couple weeks. So that's going to be very exciting. So Saturday, we won't be live for the Weekend Fun Games show, but we actually still will. However, it's going to be in the evening when we start it, not in the morning like we usually do. Sunday, in terms of that programming, nothing's going to change about that. We're still going to go live at 9 for Ticket to Ride, but we'll be at a completely different spot. And I'll also spend that time getting, all the other stuff finished. I'll probably also bring along my my better quality microphone, rather than that crappy one. Because if I'm going to be doing stuff for the, summer preview and whatnot, I may as well just bring my good microphone, instead of that bad one. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. So it'll be Sunday. But then in terms of our programming, I'm still gonna hold off on Minecraft, doing any more work on that until all of the episodes of the travel series have been rendered. So until everything's been rendered, uploaded, and scheduled, that will be when we return to Minecraft. So currently, we are very likely going to be taking a good while off of that show, and maybe by the end of this month into June, that will be when we return to Minecraft, when I decide the next project that we'll be working with. But of course, I'll think about that as we get closer. Yeah, I will think about that as we get I'll think about that as we get I'll think about that as we get closer. So I'll think about that as we get closer to that spot. Yeah, that spot. Otherwise, nothing else in terms of live programs are going to change. We'll still do Roblox on Tuesday. We'll still do the weekly test on Wednesday. Backyard Baseball Thursday. Fun Night Show Friday. Of course, we'll be doing it from, just on the virtual machines and not on the actual hardware, but for a change. But that's the way it goes. Of course, Saturday of next week, that will be when we should be finally able to return to normal with our Weekend Fun and Games show, where we do the Street View episode live, the kind request live, so pretty much all that stuff, the games, and all that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And then the following Sunday, same stories before, but I'll decide how I want to spend my Sunday. But I'll probably spend it just getting, the other stuff finished up. In terms of other plans, I'll think about that as we get closer. So as we get closer to that point, I'll decide and plan around our programming, our live programming, that is, alongside our plans. I mean, everything else about Plainfield TV and everything else is going to remain unchanged. So yeah, that's really it. That's really how the rest of this week is going to play out as we inch closer and closer to the end of the spring taping cycle. This is the last official week, but then of course we'll have the 2-week extension to get the rest of the stuff done. So I want to get this all taken care of before we get into the month of June, where then eventually we kick off our summer season, with Play 9 and Yahtzee premiering and a few other things. But so yeah, that's what's to come as we near the end of the spring taping cycle for 2026. But with all of that said and done, that is it for tonight for our Weekly Test Wednesday show. Of course, I enjoyed it. I hope you all did as well. And again, thanks to all of our special guests here. So immediately after we end this, I am going to be running a system updates on all my remaining PCs. Well, only 3 out of the 4, because my 3670's main drive is out of space and it can't really download any updates. And the drive is already in bad health, so I'm probably just gonna let it not do updates at all. Period. Until I can get a much better drive and then do a factory reset on it. So yeah, hence why that's the choice I've decided. So immediately following the conclusion, immediately following the end of this broadcast tonight, Playfield TV will be off the air for about 5 minutes, give or take, maybe more. So I can apply the system update, and then after that is done, then it will return, and regular programming will then continue. So that is the plan for tonight. Well, that's the thing that I'm going to be taking. That final thing I'll be taking care of tonight before I begin to wrap things up. So again, with that said, thank you all again for joining us today. Thanks to all our special guests. Thank you all again for watching, and we'll see you again back here tomorrow night at 5 p.m. for our next backyard baseball game. And I sure hope it's a good one. But until then, I'm Mr. Planfold, and we wish all of you a very pleasant good night.